Yesterday we learned that Bayern Munich are still heavily interested in pursuing the deal for right-back and captain of Newcastle United, Kieran Trippier, and we also learned that Newcastle United had rejected a loan proposal from Atletico Madrid for Callum Wilson. Now in the Kieran Trippier situation, Newcastle United are in a very peculiar situation themselves. The English media and the English sources are saying that both players, Callum Wilson and Kieran Trippier of course, are not for sale whatsoever, and Newcastle do not want to lose their key players. But the German sources are saying that the Kieran Trippier deal as we speak right now and as of recording right now is very much on and it's very much progressing. And as we all know, Kieran Trippier returned from his holiday in New York City to pursue this deal, and he really does want to go there. His head's turned. I mean, to be fair, can you cut him any slack? We'll get onto this later, but it is one of the biggest teams in the world. Now, what should Newcastle do in this sort of situation? Should we push these on to sell them, get some sort of face for the aging duo, or should we keep them right now? And so I think some fans are getting hit by the sentimental side of it, but of course, we were looking at both sort of situations of this deal. Without further ado, let's take a look. Right then, lads and lasses, how we're doing, and welcome back to the channel. First of all, you're probably saying, what on earth is that kit you're wearing? You haven't worn it in a very, very long time. Well, I'm in the middle of getting some retro shirts, just on a personal level. I'll quickly add this. And I don't know why, I've always liked this shirt ever since I've seen it. And for the older generation of fans, if you are watching this video, just to make you feel a little bit old, I wasn't even born when this kit was released. I know, but it's long sleeved, it's got Scott Parker on the back, and I really, really do like it. And also, just before we get into the video, I want to say a big thank you. I've been looking at my YouTube analytics, in which, if you don't know what that means, it's pretty much sort of stats and data, and I've been getting sort of followers from Newcastle United, from Germany, Australia, Indonesia, and just mental places of the world you'd never ever expect. So I want to say a big thank you and greetings from where you are around the world. And of course, the majority of you are from Newcastle and are from England. So like the video as always. If you do enjoy it and you do enjoy the news that I bring you, subscribe if you are new. And let's get straight into the news now. Callum Wilson and Kieran Trippier very much speculated around the two yesterday. And by the way, sorry I didn't make a video yesterday. I was out with my pals. We just went for a little bite to eat in town, and it probably took up the whole day. But we'll take a little look at what we did miss out yesterday, but more so the news we've got out today. So yesterday, of course, Bayern Munich was still wanting to pursue Kieran Trippier, and as we are literally recording right now, they are still wanting to pursue with him. They've said that Newcastle have rejected the initial approach from Bayern Munich to get Kieran Trippier. Of course, we do really want to keep him. We'll get on to should we sell him due to his age, due to maybe not having the best season, although we are so thankful for what he's done for the club. In my opinion, he's the best signing in Newcastle United history, undoubtedly in my lifetime. He's the sort of player that come in and trusted the takeover. He brung his individual fantasticness, and he also brung the gateway for other players to come and trust the takeover. Went from a Champions League side to a relegation side in the Premier League, who we had all the money in the world but had no hope in the world. No team survived relegation in that sort of little predicament that we were in. But away from that, the news we've got today, or from yesterday of course, Kieran Trippier returned from his holiday in New York City to come and sort of pursue the deal from Bayern Munich. Now, this may have left a sour taste in some of the fans' mouth. What's your thoughts on it personally? Because I've seen some fans say, get him out of my club, get him out here. Well, for me personally, if Kieran Trippier was to return and play against Fulham, I wouldn't have a problem with that. But it does look like he wants to go to Bayern Munich, and can we really blame him? Bayern Munich are one of the powerhouses in football in history. The history that they have, the team that they have right now, you're going to win a trophy there, undoubtedly. You're going to win the Bundesliga, you're going to win the DFB Pokal, the German FA Cup, of course. It's going to happen. You're going to win trophies then, of course, ex-teammates in Harry Kane and Eric Dyer there. There's every reason why his head should be turned. But today, it's took a little bit of a twist. Luke Edwards of the Telegraph Football has reported that Kieran Trippier and Callum Wilson, of course, who Newcastle United rejected a loan move from Atletico Madrid for him. It did say that his head was turned to go to Atletico Madrid, that they are now going nowhere. Newcastle United do not want to lose either players whatsoever. Now, for me personally, and you let me know down below, should we sell Callum Wilson and Kieran Trippier? We'll get on to them both individually, but also, before we get on to that, Newcastle United apparently have a replacement for Kieran Trippier if he does so leave this summer, or in this January transfer window, in the winter. Now, I don't get this whatsoever. His name is Joseph Scally, 21 years old. He's an American right back, and it's not DeAndre Yedlin. American right back, he plays for Borussia Mönchengladbach, and I don't want to put a downer on him if he does end up coming to Newcastle United, but I've watched him once in my entire lifetime, and that was the last game he's ever played for Borussia Mönchengladbach. Funny enough, Borussia Mönchengladbach was one of the first ever games I watched for Newcastle in a pre-season friendly, I think it was. But I've only ever watched one game of this Joseph Scally that we are meant to be getting. This is a report by Mirror Football. and he wasn't great whatsoever. I get that it was against Bayern Munich at home, and I think they lost 3-1, I can't remember fully. He got brought off with an injury in the latter stages of the game, I believe it was the 81st minute, but I wouldn't touch up on it too much because we've got Harrison Ashby, we've got Tino Livramento, who is an unbelievable replacement, arguably the best we ever could have got. Seriously, that is a mind-blown and a really, really big plus. If the unfortunate does happen and Kieran Trippier does move to Bayern Munich, we've genuinely got one of the best up-and-coming right-backs in the world, top 3, undoubtedly. But we'll get on to why I think maybe selling them both is a little bit of a plus for Newcastle United. But we'll look at both sort of sides, keeping them and selling them. Now, keeping them, you've still got 2 very top players there. Callum Wilson, he knows where the net is. He knows Newcastle United. He knows the fans. He knows the energy of the fans. He just genuinely knows where the back of the net is. But the downside of him, I don't even have to mention it. It's that clear that his injuries and his inconsistent game time is just such a negative. Imagine if he actually was so injury unridden all of the time. If he was just kept himself fit, if them hamstrings wouldn't break after playing 2 games a week, he would be one of the best strikers in England. He would be absolutely unbelievable. His poaching technicality, I don't know what I was going to say there, but his poaching ability, he knows where the back of the net is, and he's been an unbelievable servant for Newcastle United. But I seen some sort of stat that he missed 60% of games since signing for Newcastle. It's not a great stat to have whatsoever, but I think 31 years old, inconsistent in game time, and I actually think we can get a pretty decent fee for Callum Wilson. Of course, not £30 million or anything like that. That would be a bit ludicrous, even to Saudi, where we are affiliated with the teams there. But I still think we can get a very good deal for Callum Wilson. I know some teams will be wary because of his injury sort of woes and his injury worries, but I do think they're going to take a punt on him. He knows where the back of the net is. If we just limit his game time, then you never know. But Callum Wilson, for me, if there was ever a player to sell in that team, as much as I love him, as much as I respect him for being a fantastic servant for Newcastle and a fantastic striker, arguably the best I've seen in my lifetime at Newcastle, bar Alexander Isak, I would sell Callum Wilson. Pretty good fee, aging, inconsistent in game time, and maybe bring in a replacement, because we definitely do need one, because Alexander Isak would be the only senior striker there. Of course, we've got young Ben Parkinson, some other ones in the sort of youth side, like Sean Neve, I believe it is, but they're nowhere near Champions League, Premier League, Europa Conference League quality, with all due respect. Now, moving on to Kieran Trippier. Is it right to sell Kieran Trippier, and what would be the sort of repercussions for Newcastle United if we did sell him? Now, before we get onto that, we're going to take a look at this Buy News source outlet, which has given us news as of the time of recording, 1 hour ago, and I am recording it 38 minutes past 4. This is what he said. Newcastle United are demanding €15 million. Now, that for me, for Kieran Trippier, he's 33 years old. His set pieces, do you know what it is? His set pieces generally are absolutely fantastic. I mean, free kicks, corners, unbelievable. But this season, they have dimmed a little bit. I did say this last season as well, and I nearly got me absolute head braiding for that. But his set pieces this season haven't been great, in my opinion. I know I keep going back to this, but it would have been an unbelievable addition to have Sandro Tonali in this team. His set pieces are unbelievable. Free kicks, he's not the sort of person to shoot from free kicks, but his deliveries are absolutely unreal. He's a great penalty taker as well. But for Kieran Trippier, 33 years old, I wouldn't say he's on the decline, but it's arguably been his worst season out of the 3. Will we respect him for what he's done? Undoubtedly. In my opinion, the best signing in my lifetime. Like I said, the gateway, the individual brilliance that he's brought with himself. He's honestly one of the best players I've ever seen put on a black and white shirt in my lifetime. And arguably, not even in my lifetime, if some of the older generation want to speak for me here, the best right back of Newcastle United history. I don't want to make that statement because I genuinely can't. In my lifetime, I mean, no one comes close. Who we're talking about here? Debuchy, Santon was a left back there, so it was getting mixed up because he was right-footed. Yedlin, Manquillo, do you know what I mean? So he's undoubtedly the best right back in my lifetime. But €15 million, it doesn't give a lot of breathing space, does it? It seriously doesn't. I mean, €15 million, of course, isn't even £15 million. And I don't know the sort of freedom that you get from getting a fee in and then sort of spending it. I do believe it's just over double if someone actually wants to correct us for how much leeway you get. For example, if you sold a player for £10 million, how much would you get to spend from that £10 million? Because personally, I don't know, and I've never seen anyone actually bring that up ever on any sort of YouTube channel or any sort of news outlet ever. But this is what I was going to say. 3 hours ago at the time of recording, Christian Falk, who is the buying sort of news outlet, has said that according to our information, Newcastle United do want to sell the player, although Kieran Trippier, as we all do know because he left holiday early, wants to pursue the deal to Bayern Munich and no longer, I don't want to say doesn't have interest in Newcastle, because you can guarantee if this doesn't go through, he'll wear that black and white shirt proudly and loudly against Fulham away next week in the FA Cup 5th round, I think it is. But for me personally, if we were to sell one of the two, it would be Callum Wilson. Like I said, 31 years old, inconsistent. We can bring in a sort of younger striker and a backup striker as well, as we do need one who wouldn't take Alexander Isak's sort of limelight, as he deserves that as well. For me personally, he's the most talented player on the team. He's the most irreplaceable one in the team. There's not a striker like him in the world. You've got Haaland's finishing. You've got Mbappe. Do you know, there's probably Mbappe's a bit better. Mbappe is better. But you get what I mean with Alexander Isak. He's tall as. He can head the ball. He can dribble with the ball as if he's a 5'5" centre of gravity winger. But he can put the ball in the back of the net. He's so composed in goal. Honestly, I love him so much. And do you know what it is? On a side note, right? I've never ever said I'm going to get Alexander Isak's shirt unless he's the number 9. When he gets that number 9 shirt, he's going to be bagging in the goals left, right and centre. I believe it's 14 for the season already. He's going to absolutely blow that away. But Kieran Trippier for £15 million, or 15 million euros, sorry. Would you sell him to Bayern Munich for that? Of course, it's just talk. It's nothing concrete. It is from a sort of, I don't want to say untrustworthy, but it is Bayern's main source outlet, apart from Florian Plettenberg, who is a bit of a bad source as well. Bit of an untrustworthy source. But would you sell Kieran Trippier to Bayern Munich with all the repercussions? The main one being Kieran Trippier is the main man for every single goal, or just everything that happens in Newcastle United. I think it's going to be, Newcastle's going to be a bit lost for a while without Kieran Trippier. I mean, he's playing the build-up, he's set pieces, even though not being the best recently, and his defensive work rate and his defensive capability. It's going to be a really big miss. Tino Livramento defensively absolutely superb. Going forward as well, we've seen what he done at Old Trafford away in the Carabao Cup this season in that 3-0 away win. Absolutely unbelievable. You know, he ran the length of the pitch and gave it off to Miggy, who slotted it in perfectly. But would you sell Callum Wilson to Bayern Munich for £15 million? To wrap it all up, Callum Wilson, £20 million, I would snap someone's hand off for that. I've given you the reasons why, and you let me know how much you would sell the both of them for, if you would keep them, if you would sell them. Of course, no one has to be ridiculed in this sort of equation, but for Kieran Trippier, it would be very sad. I know I shouldn't be, but I'm a very sentimental person when it comes to players like this. Kieran Trippier, he's not one of my favourites whatsoever, because I like the flashy players like Isak, Tonali, Bruno, Gordon, sort of St. Maximin before he left. I love the flashy players, but Kieran Trippier, although he's not ever going to be one of my favourites, he is the one that I respect the most. There we have it. There is the video. Like if you did enjoy, and you let me know your thoughts on the Callum Wilson and Kieran Trippier situation down below. Thank you so much for the recent support on the channel. I really do appreciate it. Keep the likes and the subscribes coming in. Thank you very much. I've been Jolly Josh. Oh, and also, on a little bit of a note, I think I should have a very good video planned tomorrow. And for once, apart from a match day vlog, it's out of the house. I'm not going to drop any hints, but we may see some footballers, Newcastle United footballers. Without further ado, I've been Jolly Josh. Go and enjoy your day.